Thank you. Good afternoon once again. As you noticed, I was not actually having a lot of livestock back there. I think now you see I have 11 goats with even the young ones. The cattle are just 6. The pigs are 18. I had to scale down on the number of animals I was keeping. These goats at some point I was keeping about 24 of them, all of them adults, but the quality was not the best. My forest was still young, and like I told you earlier, this is what I am. This is my gold. I had to reduce those animals to match the stage at which the forest was at. I call this the forest garden model.
First, tell us more about the forest garden model before we walk through.
Yes. So the forest garden model of production is it is an agricultural model that deals more with harvesting and getting more from your land, because it encompasses not just the horizontal plane of things, but the horizontal and the vertical plane of things. You're able to harvest from this level, from that level, and from even high up. The taller the forest gets, the more you're able to get the things from to feed the animals.
Oh.
You can do that for food, you can do that for fruit trees, you can do that for any kind of thing you want to do. Especially if you are, now I'm doing animals here, goats, pigs, cows, and chicken. So everything you see growing here can feed at least 1 or 2 of those groups, including the chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just to give you an understanding of my forest garden model and why it is the solution for quantity and quality of feed. You see this mutuba tree? Yeah,
What is it called in English?
It is called Ficus natalensis. It is a very, very delicious thing for goats. Do you see how much I have up there in terms of leaves? You saw my goats there and they were eating from branches. The amount of stuff you see up there, leaves and branches and everything, that volume up is there. When you come to the middle part of the tree, you can see there are leaves there. Below it, this is a shrub called Gliricidia. You see it also has a good amount of foliage. At this level, I also have Tithonia. This is also feed. So overall, and of course there is grass which they eat when they are sometimes in the corridor, which we also slash to give to the cows. So overall, in a square meter of land, I have all this food that I'm producing here.
Interesting.
Yeah. On the upper side, this is a banana plantation. And most of where we are going to start from is where we are doing the fodders. Which fodders? I have Tithonia. I have the ficus, which is the mutuba. We have mulberries, 3 or 4 different kinds of mulberries. We have jackfruit. Yes, I consider it a fodder, but it's also a fruit tree. We have legumes like lab, like centrosema.
So this kind of forest model, doesn't it bring snakes?
Yeah, of course. You need to understand that, yeah, farming cannot take place outside of nature. Of course, being in nature, you need to understand that we are part of the ecosystem. You can grow plants which can repel snakes. For example, here you have some tobacco plants, just to repel them a bit. They will not bother you. And snakes are not really out to get you. When they hear you coming, they go, they move away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Young it. So every season, every rainy season, I'm out there planting more mituba trees. Just by putting the stake in the ground. Of course, I have to make sure it is taller than the goat, so that when it sprouts, they are not able to eat these if they are, supplementing them from here. And this is how we maintain the fences. So the overall size of this land is 3 acres. The compound itself is approximately 3/4 of an acre. So the rest of the land is being used for production of the feeds for the animals you saw. And as it is now, the cows, I said there are 4 adult cows and 2 calves, which are already eating, and the goats are 11 goats. All those animals are being sustained on this land. Yeah. Maybe let me take you here. Yes, when you're doing a forest garden, it is not just about throwing all the trees in there, putting this kind of shrub over the other. It is about structure, because you're going to introduce an element of shading, and you need to be careful about that. So here, this land is in strips. Every strip is about 5 meters to 6 meters wide. This particular strip has Thailand mulberry. We use this Thailand mulberry to feed the pigs. That kind of shiny plant, that's Thailand mulberry.
Yes.
The first strip you saw there was Tithonia. Some of you think that's a common weed, but it is actually very powerful. Yes, it looks like a weed where most people pass. But yeah, it's a very, very powerful fodder, believe it or not, for livestock, for cows and for goats. So every about 5 meters, there's a strip with a different combination of things. And the strips have trees growing in them on the sides in the line. Those trees are following what they call the east-west direction, because the sun rises from that way and sets that way.
Oh.
So that in the middle of the day, at all points, all the plants are going to have enough sunlight as the sun is moving to set this way. And then the shorter plants are, of course, between the 2 strips. That is something we call alley cropping. Yeah, that's the reason why they plant maize in lines, beans. When you go to some farms, or even just trees, people doing forestry, that's the reason they plant those things in line. Yeah.
And
so this is Caliandra. This particular section, this particular strip is having Caliandra. Yeah. And just so you know, during the rainy season, we also plant, of course, some food for the home. You can see there is maize in there.
The dry one.
Yeah. What happens is that we prune all these shrubs, feed them to the animals. Then the shrubs stay almost bare without any leaves. Then there is enough light, and then right in there, without even clearing anything else, we make the holes for the maize. Because you know we do minimum tillage here. Yeah, minimum tillage means you disturb the soil. You never ever disturb the soil unless you really have to. So this strip has a gliricidia. That's the shrub that is in. And of course, in the previous season we had done maize, which they are going to be taking out very soon.
Okay.
Because the rainy season is about to start. Yeah. All the while you can see we have the strips of trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I told you earlier, my forest is still young. These are very young trees by any standard. But within about 2 years, this model will have gone fully online. Yeah. I need to explain something to you about these trenches you keep seeing.
Yes.
Yeah. We call these fanya Jews. These are fanya Jew trenches. Yeah, but most people will tell you, yeah, it is just a Kiswahili word for a terrace. Actually, our land in Uganda is losing a lot of nutrients. People out there, please understand one thing. Never ever allow water or rain to fall on your land and then flow downwards. What happens is that after the rain has hit your ground, it will mix with all those particles, humus, those nice things that plants actually feed on, and even mineral salts, and then run down the hill with them. So here, when you stand like this, you can see that this is actually flat land.
Yes.
Okay? This is now flat land because of what we have done here. You dig. The common practice, the funny practice that Ugandans do is they dig the trench and they put the soil on the lower side. That is a mistake. You should be putting the soil on the upper side and then planting some things to hold that embankment.
I'm seeing.
Now when it rains, everything stays there. The water, the nutrients, the smartness, everything stays there. That is the whole objective. In that way, all your land will keep being fertile. This is the easiest way in which we all lose nutrients. It doesn't matter whether you're doing crop farming purely, whether you're keeping animals, land, water should never be running down the hill, ever.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this model, I'm not just growing feed for animals. I want to grow feed for animals, but I also want to do other things as I'm doing that. This is a jackfruit tree that we have pruned in a very interesting way. To make it produce like this, we prune the middle top at 3 meters, and then it starts putting on from this level. On this land, I have planted at least 60 jackfruit trees.
Wow.
Yeah. Jackfruit is a food security crop. Okay. It is going to be actually a cash crop in a very not so long time from now. I would advise people out there to actually grow jackfruit. I know for sure there are many investors now who are now growing jackfruit trees. Aside from that, it does actually help me with my integrated system. 60% of the jackfruit is actually something that you're not going to eat. There's the chitima, which is the middle section. There's the outer section. There are those other things in the middle that you don't eat. All that is very, very delicious waste for the livestock. Yeah, so I would encourage you us all to grow jackfruit. Aside from that, whenever I'm pruning the tree, I'm feeding my goats. Yeah. This is a very interesting kind of sweet potato vine. I acquired it from a farmer in Mukono. This vine is purely for fodder.
Oh.
It is now 1 month old. I planted it in the dry season, but I'm told it is about 4 or 5 times more prolific than the normal sweet potato vine. It is specifically for fodder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is this particular shrub is called sesbania. Yeah, it is mainly for the goats, but even I feed it to the cows, the small shoots. It is a nitrogen fixing shrub. Of course, in between, we are going to be growing other crops. Like I told you, in a forest garden, you are utilizing all the different layers. There is the top layer, the middle layer, the above ground layer, the shrub layer, and finally the layer on the ground. This rainy season, we are going to plant beans in there.
Oh.
And sweet potatoes on the other side. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see these 4 plots here.
Yes.
Each plot is about 13 meters by 13. There are another 2 plots there, and these 4 plus the 2 of that size plus the corridor, they give me about a space in which to experiment with a certain principle. Like earlier I told you, I'm not deworming these goats the way I used to deworm them. I'm using the principle of what they call rotational grazing to completely wean these animals from the use of chemicals during deworming.
Wow.
Yeah, I studied about that from a magazine I used to read called Acres USA, where a farmer had taken 23 years without deworming his livestock. He's able to achieve that just because of how he structures the grazing operation. He was able to stop deworming them and to stop spraying acaricides. For me, that is a higher game than just staying within my comfort zone of spraying all the time. So I keep rotating these goats. They spend a week in a section, then they go to another section. By the time they come back, 8 weeks have passed between those sections, and not only has the grass grown, not only has the grass grown, but the parasites have hatched and actually died.
Oh.
So so it is safe for them to come back. Okay. But the most biggest winner was that I read from that gentleman's story is that not only was able to get rid of using the acaricides and the deworming medication that he was giving his livestock, he was also able to increase his carrying capacity by about 3 times. He was able to keep more livestock than he was previously able to keep. Yeah, this is another section of the farm. You can see we are moving in a corridor.
Yes.
Yeah. So this corridor allows me to access different sections of the farm where we do different things, where we grow different plants and shrubs in various combinations. For example, this particular block is a combination of sugar napier and gliricidia. Okay. That gliricidia, together they work in a combination of the gliricidia provides nitrogen in the soil. At the same time, it is a protein-giving feed. So when the workers are cutting, they're able to carry something complete for the animals, not just plain, elephant grass. They will give them a balanced diet. And of course, since it is still a slope, I'm still doing the fanya juice at every interval. So that is one block. This is now another. In this particular block, what is being grown here is a combination of a tree called Albizia chinensis and Guatemala grass. That grass is called Guatemala. They just came through and slashed what was there for harvest, so it is trying to regrow and come back. Right along the corridor fence, I have planted mulberry. We call this one mulberry. One time, sometimes when the goats come out, these are the things we feed them on. It's better for you to have a fence which is growing food for you than to have something which is just dead. They will grow and they'll also provide food.
Wow. Okay.
In this particular block, the combination here is that mulberry type, which is called pepper mulberry, and also call it enkulaido. So I grow napier grass here, enkulaido, and then tithonia, which you guys think is a common weed.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is super napier. I have seedlings of inga trees that I'm growing down under them. You can't see them from here, but that is what is happening. The reason I'm growing these plants in this combination is to avoid what they call a monoculture. Yeah. The monoculture is not so good for a diversified operation. It's a better view. That's why I was telling you maybe this side would be easier. Yeah, so like I told you, the land not only is in strips, but also the terracing follows those strips to control soil erosion, but also to do the early cropping. So each of those strips has also a combination of things which are there. This is mulberry. In there I have misambia trees. Those are not for fodder, but those are for timber and for construction and for repairs. Of course, you see how generous we are with our manure here.
Yes, yes.
We apply it in enough of it. That is a tree called an inga tree. I would invite people to actually read more about. They use that tree a lot in South America for early cropping. And they have completely been able to eliminate manual labor on farms. At the same time, fix their soils with a lot of nitrogen. At the same time, have a byproduct of firewood just by using that tree for early cropping. Yeah, if you come, I will explain more about how you can use that tree.
People should visit and learn more.
Yes, yes, yes. It's actually a money-making idea if I talk to you more about it. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do.
Okay.
Yeah, so in this particular section, we saw the same section from that side. This is the sesbania I was telling you about. Down below here, this is a grass called brachiaria grass. I'm trying to multiply it more because I told you in a forest garden, you're trying to utilize all the vertical layers right from the top. This is an avocado tree above us. This is a mid-sized shrub, sesbania. And of course, at the floor, we have the brachiaria. I'm trying to evaluate by how much it is shade tolerant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So recently, I read about more Russian comfrey, and I'm trying to do a lot really, because it is going to help me with the so-called understory. The understory are the plants which are at the bottom of the forest. Yeah. In this particular strip of the banana plantation, we are doing some vegetables. This is nakati. There is sukuma wiki somewhere there. There are ntula there. Yeah, but this section has a bit of light, so that's why we were able to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in this section also, this is the pepper mulberry. I'm growing it mainly for the goats, but even the pigs can benefit, and the cows also. It is a plant which is so tolerant to cutting. Every time you cut any of these shrubs off, they just come back.
Wow.
So you can have this, and you can still do your other agriculture. This morning, of course, they harvested grass from here for the animals. And they are still harvesting down the line. But even for the goats, we'll be able to eat this. Now, you know we are in the middle of a dry season. But you can see I'm still producing green feed for the animals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so here I can just share more about two things. When in this particular strip, we are doing a combination of tithonia and of course some maize for the home. We eat our maize raw, and then what is not good we leave for the animals. That particular maize is going to be harvested for the chicken to eat as grain.
The dry one?
Yeah, the dry one. So it's possible to actually grow maize even in the forest. Of course, you guys can see I'm very crazy about my trenches.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. This is the reason why I'm able to have very fertile soil. The ground looks wet and the things look green, yet we are in a bit of a dry season. It's because in a forest garden, the water retention is higher compared to in an open situation. So next week we are going to start planting in here, believe it or not. And our planting, like I told you, is what they call minimum tillage. We do not disturb the soil. They will cut this grass for the cows, whatever little has come up. The shrubs are trying to come back after being trimmed and fed. But right in there is where we're going to dig holes to plant maize again. And of course, they are putting in some waste. By the time at the end of the week, they'll have put enough waste up to there. Both chicken waste, pig waste, and even cow waste. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever success I've begun to see and enjoy over the last couple of years, about 2 years, 3 years, it is because of what I've been able to achieve with this model. These animals I'm keeping rarely get sick, because they are feeding from parts of the plant which are not in contact with worms. I mean, the leaves and the branches of these are just, they are in the air. So I don't treat so much of parasites. On top of that, trees get their nutrition from way down in the ground. So the minerals that I even have to supplement with these animals are not that many. On the whole, I'm actually feeling that I'm doing more of what they call creation care. I'm keeping healthier livestock. I'm doing it organically. I'm taking care of the environment. Very soon I'll start applying for carbon credits, because I mean, I'm sequestering a lot of carbon here.
Sure.
But most of all, the problems I used to have with my animals and the funny diseases I would get, I don't have that anymore. I'm telling you the truth, I'm in a much better place than I was. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing using this particular model. I would therefore invite you to also take it up. You will tell me the results. At the very least, your animals will have much more to eat than they normally do. Thank you.
For everyone that has watched this part 2 of the video to the end, I would like to say thank you. And I hope you've learned something. Remember, we are saying no to idle land. I would like to thank Patrick for giving me the opportunity to visit his farm so that you can learn from him. his contacts. I'm going to share his contacts. You can contact him so that you learn more and you learn how to do better farming. Thank you so much. Let's continue saying no to idle land as we also protect our environment. Thank you.